I'll say this, like, fuck the locks, okay? Because I think we have a great opportunity as contenders to get more reps under our belt and
Yeah.
show some of those things that they're not going to get a chance to do. All right, we are here tonight on a very special evening because I have two fellow contenders with me, which means, I mean, honestly, we're all enemies at this point of the competition, but for one night, I think we can celebrate and kind of like, cheers to each other. And then, competition starts tomorrow. But for now, want to extend in congratulations to both of you. We'll start with Trev. How you feeling?
Good, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on, and congrats to you boys as well. Pretty good. I was up and down leading up to the video, right? So I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get in. Then I was like, no, I'm probably not. And then the video goes, and 15 names get called, and me and Nick did a stream where we were kind of guessing some people that were in, people that were out. A lot of people
Yeah.
that I thought were out were getting named, and I'm like, oh, I'm not making this anymore. And then obviously my face gets rolled up, and I just like lose my shit. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, you had a great reaction. I loved your raw reaction. I'm surprised more people didn't do that, but I love that. Blizzy, how about you? What was your reaction like during the video?
Yeah, man, I think Trev nailed it, and his reaction video was awesome. But yeah, for me, I had a level of confidence just because I never really got shredded at any point. Mayo was pretty nice to me. Tambo shouted me out on Twitter, and I don't even know Tambo. Pete has been kind of keeping it under the vest, so I was a little worried at first when it was like seemed like the people who were on got the video call, but then as it turned out, it was just the people who were locks.
Yep.
So I'm like, hold up, man. Maybe I didn't make it because I didn't get a call. I didn't get to schedule a meeting, so I don't know if I'm in here. But then, yeah, the rapid fire went, and I think I was right in the middle. I think there was like maybe 7 or 8 names before me, and then a handful of names after me. So it was a little bit of a sweat there for a minute, but I feel good.
Yeah, for me,
yeah, that's awesome.
Like 50 names were called. Like every single person I've ever known in my life got called before. That's what it felt like.
When I clicked off the video and saw it was 24 minutes long, I was like, there's actually no way. Like,
Yeah.
It felt like 90 minutes, but it felt longer than the Mayo episode.
100%.
Yeah, for me, like, I did think that there was an outside chance that I could have been one of the locks. So going in, that was kind of my goal. I was like looking at lock. I felt pretty confident that I would at least be a contender. And then, yeah, to your point, Blizzy, the second that the video call started, I was like, well, there goes that. Like, let me reframe my expectations. And but honestly, when my name got called, it was a big sigh of relief. I think I was a little bit earlier than both of you as far as like the order of the contenders. So I got to sit back. I was definitely happy when both of you guys got announced because you guys are my boys. I've had both of you on the channel before. So I was kind of rooting for anyone in that realm. But overall, what did you guys think of the list? Were there a lot of surprises? I'll say for myself, I made my own list, kind of like Oscar style, trying to predict the cast. I got 23 of 27 correct, so
Ooh.
I was pretty in line with Pete. I'll name the ones that I had in a second after you guys go, but I was pretty happy with that. I got 5 of the 7 locks. I had myself as a lock, so that was a miss. I also had Max Adam as a lock. The 2 locks I didn't have, Chad Candles, I had him right on the edge. He was in the same tier as me and Max. And then Zach McDonald as well. I know at Mayo rated him super high, but congrats to him for getting a lock. So what did you guys think? Was the list different than you expected going in?
Yeah, for me, I mean, a little bit. I thought some of the locks were surprising, like you said, the Zach one and then the Tony one. Not that their submissions were good, but lock status, I feel like that's like a god level. Like we're putting halos on people, And that did surprise me a little bit. But I think it was well deserving. But other than that, I think it's a pretty strong list. I think they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blizzy, for me, thoughts?
I thought I was kind of with you. I thought Chad was just on the outside of being lock status, so that one surprised me in terms of locks. And then I would really say my biggest takeaway was, and in a couple other Discords that I'm in, people who are following along with this, they were kind of echoing this sentiment. One guy said, like, to paraphrase what he said, he was like, man, like, why even have Mayo on? All these guys that Mayo hated just got, let right in the door. So I thought that was pretty funny and a pretty funny reaction. It did seem like some guys that Mayo wasn't really feeling. They got the approval from Pete and Pete's editing team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
interesting because I kind of had a different thought. Like, it definitely felt like you needed the Mayo stamp of approval to get a lock.
agreed.
So I think locks were people at Mayo was high on. I don't think anyone was a lock that got lower than like an 8 or a 7 for Mayo. And then, yeah, for the contenders, I think Pete and his team kind of had more jurisdiction to kind of go their own direction with it. But overall, the locks and the contenders as well. I think that there's a lot of good variety of backgrounds and people that can bring different skills to the table. You have like an Alex Cups, who's more, analytical. You have Tony Squares and Zach McDonald, who are like not as much in the fantasy space.
No
So
bit
getting
boys
people
in the
from different
locks.
backgrounds. Yeah,
Zero
for
bit
sure.
boys. And it makes you think,
Zero.
I mean, you have me, Emo, Blizzy all sang in some content surrounding the submission. So did the power of song win? It seems like we get the sway. The power of song wins. Like I don't know, man.
I don't know if you guys saw Angry Dragon just dropped a song on X. He dropped it like 10 minutes ago.
Beautiful
Oh my God.
Incredible.
Like,
my jaw dropped. Like I couldn't believe it.
yeah, I'll say like a little bit behind the scenes. So Angry Dragon, obviously I've been co-hosting with him on a couple of the recap episodes. So he sent me the raw footage and I took a crack at editing it. And he's like, hey, I just got a acoustic guitar background from another guy. It's like, bro, go with that. Like, that is so good.
Here's a question for you guys. What was your honest gut feeling? No holding back here on if Emo was actually going to get in, because I really didn't think he was going to get in for a couple reasons. I know that Pete and him have a kind of a long-standing relationship, but I thought, one, that he even admitted he kind of skirted the prompt and didn't really go for the prompt, and then two, and maybe the bigger point, is I was a little surprised that all three members of the Toxic Tower were 3 of the 27. I think when you got 135 submissions, I think that was a little bit of a surprise for me. What about you guys?
Yeah, I get that aspect, like the politics around all 3 of them, but I also think it could be great content. Like, if and when we find out what this next challenge is, if they're in a situation where they're pitted together, like that could be really good, where they're forced to argue on one side, like a you or a me type of thing. I feel like that's a recipe for really good reality television. So in that sense, like I think it does make sense.
And let me just jump in here, Mitch, before you go. I think, jumping off Trev's point, I think when you've already had the 2 main characters of Rick and Emo go at it, I think you've got to keep them. And I think even Pete said before he announced that Rick was a lock, that you can't take a guy like that out of the contest because he's driven so much of the entertainment value. So from that standpoint, 1000% agree that you have to have those 2 in it, or it kind of loses a little bit of its luster. But just in terms of, again, like all 3 members of the Toxic Tower being in, and then Emo even saying himself that he didn't really go after the prompt as it was asked for, kind of had me like on the fence.
Yeah, I thought Emo was kind of a lock to be a contender, honestly, to Trev's point. I thought he did really well in the Rick video. I think if he had approached the Rick video differently on After Dark, it could have been a different story, but I thought Emo was pretty open to working with Rick. I know that obviously there were shots fired, which was good because it's content at the end of the day, but coming out of that stream, I thought pretty good about Emo getting on the show. And again, to Trev's point, like Emo's just going to bring stuff, being on the show just by way of being in it and stirring the pot. And that's more than a lot of other people I think could have brought to the table.
Great point. Yep.
Yeah, so so I, again, 23, 27, which I was happy with. The 4 that I had getting on the show that didn't were Nick Hedgelin. I thought he had a good chance just being kind of like part of the kind of Pete crew. Who Hames. I know Pete talked high about Who Hames a couple times. Yeah. I thought Kyle Menton could have been on. And then the last one I put my boy Clark because I had a good pregame interview with him. The 4 that I didn't put on, and Neil Farley, honestly, I didn't really remember his submission or know much about him. Updog I didn't have on. Nathaniel Wright, I was shocked got on. That was my big one because I know. I was high on his submission, but Mayo killed him. And even when he got announced on the show, Pete was like, "Oh, I don't really know about this guy, but we'll see." So I'm glad he gets another chance. And then Gumby was the one I thought he had close to no shot. But I think the people really like the submission, and the people obviously got the bit more than Pat did. So
Yeah.
I get him getting on the show. We'll see if he has the longevity to kind of stay. But though for the 4 in and out that I got wrong, so yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think of Gumby getting on?
Thought the submission was hilarious. He's obviously pretty sharp. He's in the daily streets a lot, so I think it makes sense from that standpoint. I don't know how bad he really like wants it, but I do think that could be kind of funny. Like if he just does not care and he's forced to do like challenges, and he's just kind of like, and he just kind of like fails upward a little bit towards the competition. Like I feel like that'd be kind of a fun watch. So I'm all for it, man.
I think you had a pretty good list, Mitch. I think the one that I was a little bit surprised that got on maybe would have been Jim Waller.
Okay.
Have you seen those eyes though?
I know that's
like,
what
you look into those eyes and things happen. Like you want to give him things. Like
it's like a trance. Yeah.
That's right.
Anything you
that's
say,
right.
Jim?
No, I think you had a pretty good list though. I think you easily could have made the case that the guys you had in that didn't make it should have been in, and the guys that you didn't have in probably were ones that were right on the line. I think you've showed that you've had a pretty good pulse, pretty good finger on the pulse for this contest. And honestly, you've driven a lot of it. I mean, a lot of the reason that we're seeing more of people other than them kind of self-promoting or being on Pete's timeline is really thanks to you. So, yeah, I mean, I think you've had a good kind of pulse on everything. And I think your list was pretty sharp. I mean, there's no way that anybody else would have had 23 of the 27 that you had.
Yeah, I'm just pulling the strings behind the scenes still.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no wire. I'm good. This is a chain. Yeah, it is interesting from like my personal standpoint, because I still want to keep making, shows with everyone and kind of continuing to shine light on the show in general. Obviously, I think for myself, as far as competing on the show, there are times where I'm like, oh, am I pigeonholing myself into a host role? Am I not promoting myself instead of like what I usually do and trying to promote other people with me on the show with them? Yeah. So that's something that, we'll see as we get on with the competition and start doing challenges, kind of like what way I'm going to lean. But what do you guys think? Like, we're not going to get into specifics on any future challenges or anything that we may know that's coming up as contenders, but how are you guys going to approach the next couple phases of the show?
Yeah, well, as far as your point with the whole like hosting thing, I actually think that's not bad, because on a macro view, that is kind of what we're going for, right? Like to win a show with, I mean, if it's with Pete, maybe he'll take the hosting, but if it's just you, like you're getting those reps in, which is something that not all of us are able to do. So I think it is good, but I understand your point of shining light on other people when you do have to get a little selfish. Like it is reality television, right? So I think it makes sense. So sorry, what was the question you asked about our strategy?
Yeah, like what is your strategy for the next couple of phases? Like, have you taken any of the information that you've gotten, whether it's feedback from Pat, feedback from Pete, or the fans, and that's kind of going to shift the way that you're making content or approaching things?
Yeah, for me personally, so this is one of the years where I've been not as locked into fantasy football. Like I'm talking like just doing drafts, diving into stats and training camp news. So in the past, I've been really dialed in, but now I'm kind of forced. I need to get into it now, because you're nothing without your word, So I need to kind of sharpen my knowledge a little bit. I'm still good at fantasy. I do have to get more in the weeds. What about you, Blizzy?
Yeah, I think my number one thing, and I think it honestly should be, not to speak for other people, I think it should be the number one on everybody's priority list right now, is showing your range. We heard time and time again, this person did this well, they've got to show me this. This person did this well, and I'm going to maybe give them some grace because you can't show everything in a 90-second video. This person's really good at this, but I would really like to see this part of it. Ball knowledge people, they need to show a little bit more personality. Personality-driven people, they need to show, are they guest? Are they like in that guest bucket? Or can they really roll with like the punches and like host something, to your point, for 60 to 90 minutes? So I think this next couple weeks is going to be all about range. I think one of the, the feedback that I got to your point, Mitch, is that I've been like too straight-laced, really good presentation, really good editing, but not enough highs and lows on camera. They want to see more of that. So my focus, and I was talking to one of my friends about it, the friend that I actually did the song about, and kind of told you that we've been harassing him for his 17 years of no rings. One of the things that he's been encouraging me to do, and he's like, Blaine, I know you've got like the media background and everything's like matter of fact and super professional. He said, stop talking on camera like it's a press conference and start talking on camera like you're talking to me on the phone. And that was phenomenal advice, because even right now, I'm not fully talking to you guys like I would be if I was having a conversation with my boys offline. But I think that's just great advice, where everybody can think to themselves, what did I do well in the original submission video? And then again, what was I not able to show in only 90 seconds of who I am? Because nobody can show the full them in 90 seconds. So I think go away from, be yourself, but don't try to keep going down the same lane you've already been through. Show your full 100%. Range.
Well, and even in the video, Pete did give like tidbits. Like he would say, Trevor, you're in. We know this, this, and this. Can he do this? So everyone... Yes. The blueprint is really out. Like he has kind of given us the recipe for success here. So if we're taking notes and paying attention, I think we're all set.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely a good point in the competition to kind of reset and take a deep breath and be like, okay, I got through the first phase. Like now I can kind of take everything that we've got in and kind of reset and go forward. I'll say this, like, fuck the locks, okay? Because I think we have a great opportunity as contenders to get more reps under our belt and show some of those things that they're not going to get a chance to do. You think about teams, in the playoffs in the NFL that are sometimes rusty coming off a bye. You think about it if anyone watches Survivor, but people that go to a lot of tribal councils and Survivor and survive, they're better later on in the show because they know what to expect. They've been through it before. They're well equipped to kind of deal with some of the stress that goes into it. So I actually think it's a good opportunity. Like as long as you get through the contender window and get on the show, I would prefer to have that and get some momentum on your side than just sit on your ass for 2 weeks and just wait.
The locks are getting all fat and happy with their feet kicked up, not a care in the world. We're in the street. We're grinding. We want this, man. We get a chance to prove it. I think it's super advantageous for us, man. I think the locks, man. Like remember Albert Hainsworth, great defensive line. He plays his ass off, right? Just dominating.
Got the contract.
Just like the locks did, and he's just like, I got my bag, I'm good. So we just can't Hainsworth it, man. Like we're good.
Yeah, me personally. One sec, Blizzy. I would hate to have validation at this point. I would hate to be sitting back and feeling like, they love me. I'm so good. Nah, bro.
If I was a lock, I would turn it down. I would say no. Like I don't.
Put me back in the contender. Yeah, I want to show that can beat them. Yeah. Exactly. What were you gonna say, Blizzy?
Well, no, I'll go back to my original point, but I think you guys just nailed something right there, which is kind of we have an opportunity in this interim because he said like locks get to just bypass this next step, and then they're just like going on for like the actual finalists. So everybody in this round who wasn't a lock gets the opportunity to put themselves out there while there's no buzz, while the other people are on bye weeks. It's like, what can we do? Who can put their name and propel themselves to the top? But to my original point, when you were talking about favorites, I've been thinking in my head about producing some content about sportsbook related in like having like odds. Goofy Chicken and PPR Tyler versus the field and doing some odds and some betting and stuff, because it seems like everybody loves Goofy Chicken and PPR Tyler right now. But it's like, if you had to put your money down, we're all in the gambling space. I think it really would make some fun content right now. It's like, would you put your money on Goofy Chicken or PPR Tyler, or would you put your money on the field? And I'm like thinking through like, what would the odds be on each of those? What would you guys say? You had the field versus PPR and Goofy Chicken. What are you setting your odds at?
Oh, the field. Well,
it's got to be the field.
Yeah, I love like, PPR.
What's the odds though? Like the field minus 200, the field minus 500. How heavy of a favorite?
Because if they're
minus 500,
if they're the two betting favorites, so like the odds are going to get skewed a little bit. I think as of right now, where we have there's 27 people. I do think the field it's probably a pretty heavy margin. I would say probably minus 300, 250 in that range. But obviously, as it gets smaller, the odds will too. So I think as of right now, it's pretty heavily skewed in favor of the fields.
Okay, so gang inside. So I was talking to Angry Dragon literally yesterday, and I was like, also either today or tomorrow, I want to film a reaction to the cut list. Trying to think of unique angle to cover it. Don't just want to go through each person one by one. I was like, it could be gambling. Like we could pretend it's a betting show and set odds on contestants.
Exactly.
And I was like, and the lines could be who gets further, Emo or Rick, just one on one. Best bet to win the competition. Just does Chad Candles curse over the course of the show?
I
Like
do
I
like
think
the
there's a
idea
lot
of
of really
turning
funny lines.
Pete's reality show into just like an illegal gambling ring. Like he wants to
Yeah.
do it for fun. He's like, let's have a reality show where it just turns into like Fight Club for gambling.
Yes.
Like that would be fantastic.
Yeah, Blizzy, that's really funny. We had literally the same exact idea. I saw Pete talking earlier about maybe having like a survivor competition for the show. So
Oh,
you have to like keep, obviously, once the contenders get whittled down, we'll kind of keep going from there. And each week you have to like, pick your person. So I think that would be pretty funny. Do you guys, and this is not inside information, we don't know this at all. How many contenders do you think we'll get through? Like how big do you think the final set list will be? So we have 7 locks. We have 20 contenders. I'm not sure if like 16, like 9 of 20 get through. If it's 14, 7 of 20 get through. Not sure if you guys have any thoughts on that.
16's been the number in my head. I think the 7 locks plus 9 contenders.
Yeah.
that feels right. Like it's like just over a 50% cut. And I guess my question is, like, let's say we do get down to 16, right? Is that 16? Because he has said some words like main group, right? Like the contenders are going to compete and they're going to get down to that main group. So let's say it's 16. How many cuts are we seeing outside of that? After I don't want to look ahead because then we're going to get a trap game and I'm going to get blown out by 50.
One day
But
at a
like,
time. Yeah.
yeah, you're right. One day
No,
at a
no,
time.
wait. What were you going to say though? Because I think that's
No,
interesting. Like, how quickly will it keep getting cut down?
And will it? Like, because at some point, like, is it going to be like they're taking off one by one until there's one person left? Or is it
No.
going to be a true, like, there's a final group and we all find out together who wins from that group, right? So I just don't know.
I think
in my head, I don't think it's going to be either of those. I don't think it's going to be one by one. I also don't think it's going to be like the main group going to the end, because it's challenge oriented and because I think he really wants to see like the competition increase. In my head, just like if it was my thing, or if I had to tell you what I think my best guess is, I feel like it's going to be like 16, a challenge, 12, a challenge, 8, a challenge, final 4, and then maybe those 4 stay on and duke it out. But I don't think you can have like the course of the next 2 months be like 16 different people like doing everything.
Yeah, that's a lot of different personalities that, like, they're trying to keep track of. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Well,
Yeah,
in
I
that
would
case, maybe it
say
is only 12 that make it through. Maybe only 5 contenders make it through then. Like, that's possible too.
yeah, I think first of all, I don't think Pete knows either, right? Like he said multiple times that he's kind of making it as he goes, and I don't think they would want to have a super structured kind of parameters going forward at this point. I think they're playing it by ear. So I think it's open for us to kind of debate this. I think it's going to be a lot of cuts early. So I would say 16 probably, and then it goes down to 12, and then it goes down to 10, and then maybe then it starts going one by one. I think something like that, maybe 8, and then it goes one by one. I do think it'll either be a final 2 or a final 3 at the end. My thing is that we need to get to a point where each individual character can kind of shine, and you need to have a lesser number of people enabled to to be able to do that, because the more people that there are, the more fans have to follow a million different social media accounts, a million different people that are putting out content. So I think getting down to that core number after this next phase with us contenders will be a good place for fans at home to really start diving in and picking their favorites.
Yeah, and I think it is pretty cool how much flexibility they have. Like the way Pete was allowed to get that, I think it was Wells. He came on the show. He liked him. He's like, okay, you're on the show. Like having that flexibility is really good for good. You're getting the best people, right? Like, so the content's going to be great. You can flip when you need to. So I think the way it's being done is going to be good.
And what do you guys think is the date, or the kind of the range, maybe not the exact date, but like the range of when he makes the decision? Because one of the other interesting things that I've been thinking through is I know he's saying like the summer. It's going to be the reality TV competition of the summer. Now it can't go all the way through because I think there's going to be a point where he's going to want this person to dive in. So like in my head, it's like ending middle of July, and he's going to like onboard somebody and have them like start appearing in August as things really ramp up. You're getting that redraft crowd checking their apps, scheduling their home league drafts with their friends. So that, I mean, from what is today, like May 11th. So I'm thinking like 8 or 9 more weeks, at least 2 more months, and then a decision is made. Does that feel like the appropriate range to you guys? Do you think he's going to stretch out longer? Do you think shorter?
Yeah, well, look, whoever wins has to be able to use their site credits, right? So it has to be enough I mean, it does. It has to be enough time to max out BBM. So I don't know when BBM usually closes. That's kind of a noob question. I don't know if it's right before a season starts. I know it usually fills up a little earlier. So yeah, I think you have to give people at least a month for that. So I think August 1 would be like a hard deadline. I think late July, probably mid to late July is probably what we're looking at. Now, again, if the 4 finalists all live on the East Coast, do they go do a live final somewhere? Like, I think that's open. That could push back things a week or two. So again, I think it's hard to estimate an exact time at this point, but it has to be by August, I would say.
Can we make a pact here? If any 3 of us get first place, that person has to do a nonstop live stream until all site credits are used on the draft. Just nonstop live draft. You can do 2 at a time, maybe just 2 after another.
Yeah, until, 5. Try 5. I'm multi-tabling.
No, it has to be painfully. It has to be a painfully long live stream. I want you like squinting as you're out of sleep, like clicking, like I don't even know.
Okay,
that'd be a good bet.
Here's the curveball, because I think Mitchell, you're alluding to this. I think most people's brain goes here. Now you can do it as maxing BBM, which is kind of what the 3750 affords you. But once Pete has his partners at Underdog load up your account with the site credits, maybe you just do 5 big dogs. Maybe you do something else with the 3700.
I would max all those ancillary contests immediately.
Yes, there you go.
I've spoken about the best ball structure. It's so hard to win, dude. It is so tough to even get through.
I've said before, I can't use any of the BBM credits myself. So if I were to win, I think I would either give it to a friend, in my home league.
Fly down to Florida. You crank through those drafts and do live stream. That'd be kind of fun, actually. Listen.
It would be.
Well, you joke, but I'm definitely considering like giving stakes of my potential site credits out to other contestants as like alliance tokens. Like, hey, if you align with me, you get $750 of site credits if I win this competition. Like that's something that I'm playing around with.
That be like, hey, you can get Mitchell's alliance for I'll give you 350 of his alliance tokens.
Yeah, no, they can. Yeah, there could be a secondary market. Yeah, there could be a secondary market. Yeah, I do have a sponsorship with Celsius, so I'll make sure I'll shout them out now. So I do have money coming in from them. So excited for the rest of the competition on that front. Yeah, hoping to get more sponsors in the future. But that's kind of all I had. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up before we get out of here?
I'm just hyped, man. Like selfishly, I just want the content machine to keep cranking. I know his team is doing an amazing job. I know it takes so much time to edit through that much footage, those many different video calls and all that. But I'm just thinking like, I don't want to have to wait 2 weeks between Mayo's episode and then episode 2, which was today. It's like, man, my juices are flowing. I'm hoping that we just go like rapid fire, like as fast as they can go.
Right. Yeah, I do. Definitely work has taken a hit. My work performance has taken a hit over the past month or so. Not as productive during the office days. I really try to set aside like 4-hour blocks where I'm really like working on my real work. But then thoughts just pop in my head where I'm like, oh, I wonder if anyone's tweeted anything, or like, oh no, Pete's streaming at 2. I have to see if he says anything regarding the show. So, luckily in college athletics, summer is our easy time because obviously the kids are away. There's no sports going on. So I'll have that kind of runway. But yeah, for the remainder of the show, we're going to do our best to balance out both worlds. And then to your point about
the conversation with like the AD, when he brings you into the room and he's just like, you see on the background, it's like your thumbnails. It's like, listen, these videos are an hour and a half long. You're working on this like way more than work. Like, how does that conversation look like? Are you just like,
I'll say, look, I divide my life into three things. I divide it into work, I divide it into So You Think You Can Tell, and I divide in my social life, and the social life has been the one taking the hit. This is my social time right now. I don't film these videos because I like talking to you. It's that way I get some human connection during the day. But to your point about the content machine, Blizzy, to anyone that didn't make the show or anyone that gets out in this upcoming challenge, like, dude, keep making content. Like you see Angry Dragon, he's doing it right now. And I definitely think that this is a great launching off tool to do whatever you ever wanted to do in the space. And even if you aren't getting eyeball through the competition, you're still in the mix and you at least got your name out there. So yeah, want to see all the great things that people keep creating from here on out. So yeah,
that's a great point.
All right. Well, thank you guys for hopping on. We can go back to being enemies now, and I hope your guys' submissions for the next challenge are terrible.
Y'all are the best, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, boys.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Bad luck.
All right, catch y'all.